What's going on, traders? Yeah, I just want to get on here with some Sunday strategy for the Forex market. My really only pair I focus on is the pound to dollar, the GBP to USD currency pair. And so today we're just going to kind of go over the strategy for the week, what kind of the thought processes, and going forward, trying to actually grow the account as compared to last week, which was dwindling the account. Ended up adding some more money to the account to get it above the $500 range. Really want the 500 to be the bottom. And if I go below that, if I lose $100, this week trading, hopefully not. Hopefully let's double the account. Let's shoot for $1,000 in the account by the end of the week. Don't know if that's going to be possible because I am going out of town in a few days, and I might just be trading with my phone, and I don't want to get super carried away with that because it's kind of a downfall for me. So let's get into the chart here. I like to get everything situated for the week on a 4-hour chart. The reason being is because I listened to an audiobook. It was like the Candlestick Bible. Supposedly, super recommended with a lot of traders. So it's like, okay, it's an audiobook. I'll get in on some of this information. And it said, and I've heard from multiple other successful traders that, the 4 hours, like the easiest to see these larger support and resistance zones. And so that's why we're doing that. And so if you were watching Friday when we were failing and kind of getting fucked on this bottom, just thinking it was like going to hit the bottom, then it didn't hit the bottom, then it continued to fall and fall and fall. I think we got on, what is today? Okay, so Friday was the 15th. So as we were doing our trades, it looks like New York session started about here. Here's the trade we kind of got ripped off with this gigantic candlestick and blah, blah, blah. Well, as I was hopefully trying to get underneath the bottom of this lower high spot, the bottom continued to fall out, and I kept doing buys in a downtrend, which is not necessarily the wisest thing to do in a downtrend, to be buying. You should probably be trying to go with the trend of selling. But it is what it is. I got kind of a plan I was trying to get to. When it comes to just this 4-hour chart, when it's down here so low, odds are it'll bounce back for a new high somewhere. This is the new high mark, but I didn't necessarily bring this down as a trading zone yet, just because I'm not sure exactly how this will bounce back because it's still been falling. And so hopefully today when the market opens back up, this dashed line here corresponds to this previous support level that seemed to be pretty valid. So it's like you can kind of see every time price touched where this dashed area is, you see it bounce as a type of support level. Did crash through it once before, but it wasn't a super big drop, and then it went back to create support on that same level, and it didn't continue that downtrend. So I don't actually like to trade when the market first opens on a Sunday, mainly because the volume's pretty low. There's a lot of indecision, and it's like, and I've lost, a lot of trades just like, let's get in on it on Sunday and let's like just take it back where we left off on Friday. And then it didn't play out like that. And so trying to be a little bit more disciplined this week, not fall for the same traps that I've been falling for, which is like over trading, revenge trading, just going up and down too much, just a whole bunch of stupid shit that I should know better, but it is what it is. If half the time we are our own worst enemy with what we're doing. And so as this opens up on the 4-hour chart, I would actually kind of prefer to wait and see what it does once it hits this threshold. It may not be till London session later tonight. London session, I'm in the United States and I'm on Eastern Standard Time, same time as New York session time. So it's like, I think London opens up at like 3:30, 3 o'clock, something like that. I'm going to set maybe a buy order. We'll see what it does. I'm going to check it again like before I go to bed to see how this candlestick plays out, see if it touches this support level, and ideally the game plan would be to follow our entry pattern that looks like this. And so if it goes down, hopefully you guys can see this okay. Let me pull that over just a hair more so you can see. I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful of the viewers here and the screen spacing. And so what I'm hoping to see with this movement is it hitting this support zone, bouncing back up to maybe this previous level. It kind of just depends on what it does when it opens back up. I would like to see an actual inducement, which is like kind of a trick of the market where it breaks higher, which kind of shows you that it's getting ready to go on an uptrend, followed by our actual entry spot, which is after the inducement. Hopefully we get a buy opportunity right here. You can make that maybe green so it signifies a buy. Oops, wrong thing here. Okay, we'll click that button here. So that is going to be kind of where I would like to enter on this trade, and then catch this buy, maybe to about this level. And so that would be a, about a 3.5 risk to reward. Oh, where's that? Let me pull this thing around here, because I want to get the stop loss beneath that previous. Oh, this is getting a clusterfuck. I want to get that underneath that low right there to kind of like protect it, which is somewhat sketchy because sometimes you can get these stop loss hunts. But let me measure this. If I can get in, let me just do it a different way, because that, what is that, 116 pip? If I can get that, and I'll do a small order, because that is another issue I've been having. I'll just put an arrow here. Just do a smaller order, catch that as it goes up, and take up, this would be the take profit zone up in here somewhere. Maybe even just down here at that previous high, because it is already kind of a decent gain there. But we'll see what this does. But that is actually the entry pattern that I follow, try to follow at least, is hit that support, then you have the inducement that kind of tricks a lot of people, including myself many times, which is going to be above that break of structure right there, and then a retest back, but hopefully seeing a little bit higher of a position than that previous low actually hitting the support as another confluence that this is getting ready to shoot up, and then get in on it right there, and then put the stop loss. I wish I could scroll this whole fucking thing up and down. That did not do what I was wanting it to. But then put the stop loss, underneath that low. Let's make that an easier color to see. Just hit the stop loss underneath that level, and then ride it up on a buy, even though it's kind of sketchy, because like I said, it is a downtrend, and I have been getting fucked on thinking I was at the bottom, then it falls again, then it falls again, and then it falls again. But I think because there's so much history to the left over here of this being a pretty solid support, you can see where it is resistance at one point, where it hits it and then drops, hits it again, drops. So that way we don't keep getting fucked on this thing as it keeps dropping. But it's been dropping since the end of August, so hopefully it bounces here and then starts trading sideways somewhat, which I'm hoping this would be the top of the range, and then that would be the bottom, and then we can get a little bit more more certainty on what we're doing, because it'll probably go up and down at least 3 times before it breaks the structure again and goes in a different way. So that's kind of the bigger bigger plan for the week, catching this down here, but I'm gonna just freaking load something here. Starting to get way too much colorful shit going on with this chart. I'm starting to get kind of just like, what is going on with all these colors? But like, so that's the 4 hour kind of the larger time frame game plan. Really, it's going to be a waiting game to see what it does at this support level, though. Not going to do any type of purchasing, a buy or sell, until we get a break and retest. Either it breaks up as support. If it drops even further, the next possible bottom I would be interested in would be down in here as a buy zone. This is going to I'm just not even going to touch. If it breaks that zone, I'm not fucking doing anything, because it could also be a big liquidity grab, which is a concept that I'm getting more and more awareness about how that works, these liquidity grabs and whatnot. So it could just blast right through there, grabbing all of those stop losses, and then hitting in here as the new bottom slightly above that, and then taking off to the upside. So the best thing to do for me, I guess, at the moment is just to wait and see how this plays out through the next couple sessions to see if that game plan is going to play out. Also, dropping then to a smaller time frame. So we got kind of the weekly trend, since August, downtrend. The daily, the past few days, downtrend. So we're going to be looking for sells ultimately in the shorter time frames. Kind of the plan, like I said, is wait till we get to this dashed line and see what happens. And then once it hits that, then take some buys till we get to, we'll do a Fibonacci. So we got the low here. Let's see. This was the new high, so we'll just do it right there. And so we could maybe do a take profit initially at this high right here. It's got a couple other spots that it's acted in this zone. Let's look at that zone a little carefully. Yeah, I'm still trying to learn where all these freaking things are. But, okay, so we have a zone up in here. You can kind of see how it's been support, meaning it's hit that area of interest and then bounced. Maybe got a wick into it here and bounced. It's kind of hard to see from the 15-minute, but once it blasted through it on the 14th New York session, yeah, now it's acting as more resistance. And so if I got a buy down in here, this would actually, on the shorter time scale, probably be where I'd cash out, take profit, and then see if it bounces up even higher to make a new, I keep getting these confused, a new higher low, since it's a downtrend, where this is the lowest low, the swing low or whatever, then the swing high. Hopefully I'm using the correct language here. Some people can be really, well, Mike, you used the, it's like, okay, you get what I'm trying to say here, hopefully. Some gamma bitch boys, they just love to just be so legalistic and litigious with the fucking language, and it's just like, okay, I hear you, I hear what you're saying, but, I'm not a legalistic person and not really super hung up on words and definitions of shit. So when it gets to up here, that's where I'm looking for sells, like a big sell. But it might also start the beginning of the new sideways range, which normally happens after downtrends and uptrends. You get a sideways range. This is kind of almost like a smaller scale sideways range, but then it dropped, and it might even go back up to that level, and this would be the sideways range. Possible, not a fortune teller, so we'll see. But biggest thing on the short term, like if it hits that before London session, I will take a small buy. Instead of going all in like I was doing when I was scalping the other day, I might just do a half, so like a $300 position there with a take profit up in here from that line to this zone. I'd probably even just get that bottom of the zone. That's 78 pips, if I'm reading that correctly, which is a decent, a decent gain, if I'm reading that correctly. I'm still trying to, this is more financial entertainment than listening to some fucking expert, because, I've just been, this is just something I've been doing, just for fun on some level, so learning a new skill, learning just a new thing, and so by no means like take this with a grain of salt. It's like if you're able to be watching what I was doing in private for the last few weeks, it's been losing money, but it started off a lot smoother. It started off like almost got the account up to $1,000, going big, going this, but it's just been like almost like metaphysically just like it's because it's not just in the Forex market. My stocks and shit have been like a failure too, out of nowhere, and it's like, and one of them in particular, I had like a $600 position. I wasn't necessarily going to bring this up, but might as well, we're talking stocks and shit, so part of what got me into Forex is like being able to trade multiple times day trading without having to worry about pattern day trader regulations and all this kind of stuff. But I do have like, a couple grand in stock market, that I was kind of fucking with. And then, I had some quantum computer stocks and stuff. I don't even know how I got involved with them stocks, other than it was just kind of synchronistically just like, oh, I'm looking for stuff to invest in a penny stock. I just happened to catch a trader giving a prediction about something. I bought into it just because I didn't really care. I just wanted to experiment with it. Next thing you know, it's up $120 something, just like, in that, New York session till like 1 o'clock. And then I tried selling it because I was super excited and whatnot. And then I couldn't sell it because I was on unsettled cash. Then I got a good faith violation. I've gotten like every single violation, on the stock market. And that was the other end of why I was just like, this is just a pain in the ass to try to get something going with this, because with the pattern day trader stuff, then I had liquidation violation and good faith violation and all these violations. And then I owed a margin call. Then I owed this. And then it's like, what the fuck, But then, okay, it is what it is. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of just store some of this cash in these, the SPY. It had like $600-700. I broke it into, like the couple grand I had in there. I broke it up and it's like, okay, 25% is going to go here, 25 here, 25, 20. And so I ended up having too much invested in really volatile penny stocks. And as the fucking market just took a bearish turn, next thing you know, it's like I'm looking at my statement every day, and it's like down $100, down this, and it's like, what the fuck, this is too much in these penny stocks or whatever. And so I was like, one of the things I thought was a better investment was like Vivek Ramaswamy or whatever, the guy running for president. He has like a pharmaceutical company, and I actually seen him on a podcast. The first time I got introduced to just him as a person, his point of view or whatever, was on the Dr. Drew podcast. I like Dr. Drew. I've listened to Dr. Drew since I've been like a kid with Loveline, and so it's like always really nostalgic for me just listening to Dr. Drew, and I just like his calm energy and shit. And so he had him on as a guest, and he was talking, and he was making a lot of sense. And I like to invest in people more, in their consciousness versus just like numbers and whatever. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, he seems like to be an abundant person, a good, good creator, good entrepreneur, smart, able to speak well, doesn't seem like a complete brainwash retard like you see on with a lot of people. And so it's like, okay, well, then I looked into one of his company, his pharmaceutical company or whatever, and it's just like, it's on an uptrend, it looked like, it had a weird ticker symbol. So, part of it is just me just being a rookie, making rookie moves, not really knowing exactly what the hell's going on. Just, one click purchased, done, and it's like, okay. And so I ended up, what did I put, $500-600. I was like, okay, I need to get this out of these penny stocks. I'm just going to put it in his company, as he's like doing all these press conferences and shit, getting a lot of media attention. A lot of times, with Forex, when you have these news stories, you see these big bumps up and down just in a matter of minutes and whatnot. And I thought I could put stop loss, limit orders in for 7-8% return, because what would happen is I'd had some invested with his company before, and it wouldn't have very much volume at all. But then when it did get volume, I figured it was from a media spike or something. It would shoot from like what was it selling at? 280 a share or something like that. But then you'd have these things where you'd like bump up to $3 and like 25 cents or $3.50, $4, and it was just like really quick, and it would just be like a quick little boom and out. And it's like, okay, well, it seems like a safe thing, you know. His charts, you know, for like the weekly, monthly, yearly, all that was a clear uptrend. It's just like, oh, it seems like a safe place just to store this shit for the time being, and put limit order in, good till cancel limit order, which is basically like, if it hits that and it just sell it, and then I'll just have the money. And that's what I thought, you know. And so, long story short, so I've been on this spell basically, and it's like, you know, and what kicked it off in the stock market shit was, you know, I get this weird bullshit with that particular stock, and it was like, it wouldn't let me buy anything, it wouldn't let me sell anything. It was like locked in with this weird number. It's like, what is going on with this? And I had to call the broker anyway because I was tired of this margin shit, because I got flagged for a pattern day trade violation, which luckily they were able to just like give me a second chance and like not be a prick about the 25K, you know. And it was something so stupid. It was like, it was hardly even, you know. I was very mindful not to do the 3 or 4 day trades in a rolling 5-day thing, and that fucked me. Another time it fucked me because that quantum computer stock was like, okay, this thing is getting ready to have a breakthrough from like $2 and $2.25 or something to like $3.50. It's obviously getting ready to happen. But I, like an idiot, shorted the stock the day before because I don't know why. You know, it was like looking back, it's like it made sense because it was like it hit $2.25 or something, or $2, and then it started going down. And I was like, okay, I just got this margin account. I want to try to ride that down a little bit. Whatever. It was bad decision, because I woke up the next day pre-market, and that broker, I could only pre-market order because I wanted to do it. I don't know why I wanted to. I can't remember. But, you know, it's like I thought, okay, well, if I do this order today, then tomorrow morning I could sell it if I wanted to, because I kind of thought it was going to go down, you know. And so I thought if I bought a sell in the, you know, on Monday, for example, Tuesday morning, if I wanted to get out of the sell, I noticed there's a lot of volatility right when the market opened. So I thought, you know, it's like, okay, maybe I could, you know, go from here, do a quick sell on the market open, squeak a little bit, and then do a buy if I wanted, if it was promising that it would go up to hit that new high. And I woke up pre-market, like, I don't, freaking early. And I just happened to look at my phone, and it was like, oh, it pre-market went up to $3.50 on a short that I was shorting at, with no fucking stop loss, and it's just like, god damn it, you know. And I was freaking out because now I had been back and forth with, you know, I've lost like $300 or $400 on this stock, and I keep thinking, well, this time I'm finally going to get a hold of this freaking thing and get either the money back, or finally stop just making all these retarded moves with it, you know, and just kind of just for my own self-confidence wise, just get back in on it, or whatever. Well, you know, so long story short, you know, I've been chasing this thing, chasing it. Ended up, luckily, you know, it goes all the way up to that new high pre-market, which I couldn't even diddle with till like 7 something. Just because the broker wouldn't let me pre-market order anything till then. And I'm sitting here just watching it, it's like, oh, hundreds of dollars that I'm, you know, with a short, and it keeps going up to this record high. And then it's like, could there be this hysteria that it just takes off? And it's like, maybe. So there's a lot of nervous energy and panicky or whatever. But luckily, when it broke 930, there was this, you know, big chaotic whatever, you know, is like $3 something pre-market down to like $2 and whatever right when it opened. I was able to quickly just sell, get out of that sell position with a very minimal loss, thank God. But, you know, and so I've been kind of on this thing where it's like, okay, I need to just store my money here better or whatever. And so, again, with Vidix company, Anyway, I get all this shit with this margin, and it's like I'm getting these margin calls, I'm getting all this bullshit. And it's like I just want cash in there. I'm getting ready to go out of town. I just want to use that cash. I got a card and blah blah blah. Well, anyway, so I call the broker with a question about why this company that I invested $500-600 with, I can't buy or sell anything. The numbers look weird, and he said it was something like a stock warrant or something. Whatever the hell that even is. But he's like, well, basically it gives you the ability in 3 years or whenever that it expires to then actually purchase real shares into the company. It's like, what am I doing? It's like, I don't even understand what this is. And he was like, well, you have, till it expires, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, as long as it's not like, fucked or whatever, I can just let it be in there. I don't really care. I just want to be able to like cash it out if in the future I wanted to, because I'm not really focused on the stocks right now. I'm focused on Forex. I get off the phone with this guy, and he told me when he called me back and like a couple minutes later, oh, the information I just told you was inaccurate, where I had said that it expires and this and this and that, and then he's like, actually, it's only going to be redeemed for like 2 cents a fucking share. And I had like 200 shares or whatever. It's like $300, 300, or what did I have, 300 shares, and they were selling like $2 or something. It's like $500-600 down to, I ended up getting fucked on that and getting a $20 back, from that, $600 that just vanished. Here's $20. Thanks. So that was going on, and then I've been on this losing streak, and it's just been like, what the it's like, if it can go wrong, it fucking is going wrong. But we're going to turn that shit around, so that's why I want to show this journey, this progression, so people that want to try to get over this inflation bullshit, or just do something that just takes their abundance to the next level or whatever. This is what it looks like, this is how it works or whatever. And so hopefully it's helpful for the anybody listening. And so I think that's pretty much the game plan moving forward. I'm going to stay with the pound dollar for the week here. Hopefully catch it at that support. Follow the entry plan. This time around, I wasn't successful at doing that last stream, but going forward, we're gonna do this shit, and we're gonna do it good, and like hopefully have a goal of like bringing the account to $1,000 without having to add more like fiat currency. We'll just print some more money and add it to the account. We actually want to get stable, profitable. Not getting profitable by just pissing away on these little moves. That's one of my biggest freaking things. These little moves. Or, getting overexcited with the direction, maybe a new chart. I was like looking at, let's look at, just for the fun of it, what is it? USD JPY. Here we go. And this is another one that I've not successfully been dealing with, because it's just been... It's at this level where let's do a big 1,000-foot view here. It's been teetering at this freaking resistance level, and it's at a high, like a high. So it's like you have this move over here where it can possibly jump to, but it's been bouncing off this level and tricking me every step of the way. It's been, on this uptrend that you can see here on the 4-hour. And so it's like, okay, well, hopefully it busts through. And each one of these little resistance thing, I was in on most of those, thinking that it's going to break through, and it rejects it, and it gets shorted. And next thing you know is the stop loss, blah, blah, blah. So I don't necessarily know if I'm going to fuck with this one or not, but it is really promising in the sense that it did break through that resistance, and the USD JPY is kind of correlated oppositely to the pound. And you can pull these up too. Let me show you guys this for anybody that's kind of like new to Forex or whatever. If you go to my Forex book, you can see this area, this correlation chart. And if you just type in 1 to 1 and both those. You can see the green if it's going up. For example, Euro USD, very popular pair, and you can see the pound USD. It's like 95.1% connected, whereas the biggest opposite player in this whole correlation game is the USD JPY. So, if the pound continues to drop down to this level, it might be a good sign that the USD JPY is breaking this threshold and continuing to maybe test this liquidity up here. I don't know. It's one to watch. One of my strategies that I was just testing to see if it even worked was like getting on this correlation calculator thing and just doing the opposites of everything. So it's like, okay, well, if the Euro USD is going up, then I'm just going to just automatically just put a sell in over here without even looking at the chart or doing anything. It somewhat kind of, it kind of worked a little bit until, is another thing. It's like, I had like 8 positions open at one time. Euro USD, the pound USD, USD JPY. Then I got on here and it's like, okay, what are the most correlated ones with USD JPY? Because then I'd do the Asian session on USD JPY and I'd trade that. A lot of the JPY currency pairs or opposite of Euro USD and the GBP USD. It's a tongue twister saying that shit, but like and so I just had like 8 positions, 4 that were correlated with Euro USD and 4 that were correlated oppositely, just because I was curious to see how that would work. Didn't work that great, but it did introduce me to some of these different pairs. But again, I think it's a wiser strategy to just go ahead and just, for the time being, really focus on the pound dollar and just using larger sizing. And so I think that's going to probably be a wrap for this Sunday strategy. We'll see how that works. Thank you for being here. Obviously it's like, well, Mike, I've been trading for 8 years and that strategy sounds retarded, blah, blah, blah. And you should do this. And it's like, listen, this is what I'm doing. If you are like a way superior trader, moneymaker, whatever, and you're doing the exact opposite, literally the exact opposite, you go for it. It's like, I will learn by trial and error and the hard way, which is the way I guess I like to learn, the hard way. But like, if there's anything that's obvious or whatever, and you feel the urge to try to enlighten me and make me better on some level, drop your comments in the down below the video here. What's your strategy? What are you doing? There's a guy I was like watching. I like watching these these $500. And it's real money. This is like not a demo account. This is my real cash. But like this is just what I'm doing with it. And I like watching other people what they're doing with their Forex account when it's a real account. And you can just tell. It's like, maybe you can't. I don't know. I feel like I can tell. But there's been a guy I've been listening to. He got that same shit that I got the other day, where it's just like you get the right idea, but then you get this stop loss hunt that just immediately fucking gets you out of the trade. They call that liquidity trap. It's like inducement draws you in, liquidity takes from you, and so it's like these traps where they take your stop loss and then fly up to the upside. It's like you use it as fuel to do that. It happened to him too, but he wasn't aware that was a trick. And so I ended up just dropping him a comment saying, hey, I'm not saying this as like I'm telling you what to do or anything. Me personally, I recognize that entry because it was the entry pattern I normally do, and it was just textbook. So I hopefully was able to maybe save him the trouble of like getting a stop loss taken multiple times. If not, fuck it. You'll learn the hard way or whatever. And I'll do the same, So it's like if you see me doing obvious things, like, yeah, I'll probably learn it the hard way eventually, But, I also appreciate, people trying to help and, being supportive and being like, dude, that was a really bonehead rookie mistake there. but I think I'm about. So, I appreciate everybody liking, sharing, subscribing. Yeah, until New York session here. Like I said, if this taps before New York session, I will buy. But until then, I'll catch me on the next stream tomorrow morning. Might be actually before New York session, because the thing with the pound, and I'm kind of rambly, is about 8 o'clock. I've noticed this multiple days, multiple weeks in a row. Seems to have a lot of like action about that time, where it's like it could be like building, and then 8 o'clock rolls around and it's just tanks. I don't know. It just seems to tank at like 8 o'clock right before New York session. So I'd like to almost get up about 7:30, 8 o'clock just to see if it's done that. And if it does, then a lot of times I'll just like, get to the computer here and do some sort of buying or selling or whatever. Try to do the live stream in doing so, but we'll see. This is still pretty new. Still working out a lot of the rookie technical errors and whatnot, but I appreciate liking, sharing, subscribing. Until market open, see you then, and God bless. Thanks again, and take care.